Hey, what's up everybody? Video 44 coming at you with another video. All right, so tonight the Los Angeles Lakers of course play the Memphis Grizzlies. I encourage everybody to check out the video that I did previewing that game, even though I didn't really preview that game. I just spewed more pessimism as usual these days. But yeah, man, just wanted to talk a little Lakers right now. Of course, there are a few things that are on my mind. I think the first thing I want to say is we haven't heard any updates on Vanderbilt. And of course, there's only 2 games left in the season, and that's not including the play-in tournament that we've already clinched, for which we will at least play 1 game. And at this point, I have a hard time believing that it's a good idea to bring Vanderbilt back. Not at all. And the reason why I say that is because of 2 things. One, his own health. It just, at this point, with only 2 games left, he'd probably, for him, be best to just sit out the rest of the season, work on his conditioning in the offseason, get 100% healthy, and come back in the best shape of his life, just like I said about Gabe Vincent. And then it's the Darvin Ham factor, to where we've already seen how Darvin's had a hard time reincorporating players back into the lineup. This is a consistent problem that we've had with this coach. And I don't think it makes a whole lot of sense to me to put Darvin Ham in a strong position to have to reincorporate Vanderbilt either, especially when Vanderbilt is a player that doesn't space the floor very well. It's a player that you're not looking to really do a whole lot offensively. I don't think you can get the most out of Vanderbilt unless he's in his best shape, and I don't think you can get the most out of Vanderbilt until he's had time to work off the rust, and that is something that you don't want affecting you in must-win basketball games. Now, if he were to play tonight and help work off that rust and get his win back, that would help go a long way in me feeling more confident that he'll be available for the play-in tournament at a good rate. Last time it took about 5 games for him to shake that off. We don't have that. So, given the fact that he's not only coming back from this injury, but he's coming back from several foot injuries, dating all the way back to the beginning of the season, asking him to come back in must-win game situations is risky in and of itself, even if you had a coach who was going to make good decisions in regards to putting him in the game. I have a coach that's going to make bad decisions in regards to putting him in the game. Maybe even rely upon him to be his old self, fresh off injury. Put him out there for 25 minutes and ask him to do all the stuff that he normally does. I mean, it's just absolutely and utterly irresponsible and unrealistic to expect that Vanderbilt's going to step back on the floor and be who he needs to be with what it is that his skill set is and what it is that his ailment has been. It's just, that's not real. That's not real at all. And that's the problem that I have with the Lakers. The same thing I said about the Gabe Vincent thing. You want Gabe Vincent to come back. He's on a team now that is not even constructed properly for him to actually have a role for himself. We picked up a different player for it to play his role, and now we got them both slapped on the floor together because our coach is not wise enough not to do that. So it's like, at some point in time, we got to say, asking Vanderbilt to come back is not only just asking Vanderbilt to come back, but you're asking him to come back to be who he's been, and you're asking him to be in rotations that may not be best for him. You're asking him to play a physical brand of basketball that only his style is very meant for. And in the idea of that, you look at the foot injuries and wonder if he could re-injure the foot in that process. It's just a whole lot of bad. I don't see nothing good about bringing Vanderbilt back at all when these are must-win basketball games from here on out. Now, if we make the playoffs, that's a little different in theory, because maybe you have a couple of games to work back into the equation. Maybe you advance in the playoffs and you get the real Vando back. Maybe. That makes more sense. But given the fact that what our game is a one-and-done situation, but you're going to put him in fresh off injury, haven't played in about 2 months in a one-and-done situation? Do you guys have any idea how irresponsible that is? And you slapping him next to players he's never played with, and Gabe Vincent and Spencer Dinwiddie. You know what I'm saying? It's extremely, extremely unrealistic to expect him to come back and be a positive on the basketball floor. It's more likely that he comes back and overexerts himself trying to be his old self and hurts the team and hurts himself. That's likely more so what to expect than him coming back and being a putz on the basketball team, on the basketball floor, fresh off injury in a must-win, one-and-done basketball game. It's just absolutely and utterly stupid. And I need Laker fans to understand that, because I'm hearing a lot of intelligent Laker fans saying, let's hurry up and bring Vando back. The last thing you want is Vanderbilt playing in that game against Golden State when if you lose, you go home. You don't want that, because the rotations that he's going to be in will be probably rotations he's never been in his career. And the stuff you're going to be asking him to do are things he likely ain't going to be physically ready to do. And his natural deficiencies in not scoring the ball is going to leave our spacing screwed up against a team like Golden State, who you don't want that problem with. It's absolutely not. Absolutely not. So the idea of bringing Vanderbilt back is the worst thing to me for us, because it's going to force us into positions that ultimately hurt you in a one-game situation, period. So as far as I can tell, he should be out for the season. Shouldn't be no bringing Jared Vanderbilt back at all unless we advance into the playoffs, and then we can have a fresh start with game 1, game 2, where we slowly but surely incorporate him back into the lineup, as to which I do not trust Darvin Ham to do that properly. But if Darvin Ham wasn't the problem, or if Darvin Ham were to get that right, in that scenario, I feel all right about Vanderbilt slowly but surely getting back in place. Maybe we advance, and by game 5, we got real Vando back. So that's the first thing on my mind, man. The whole return, Vando, bringing back Gabe Vincent, all of this is just, it's not a positive for your basketball team. I like Gabe Vincent. I like what I've seen from Gabe Vincent. I think I'm in the minority there. I just know that the shot hasn't fallen, and I don't expect it to. He shot 6% before he got hurt. He came back and he's shooting even worse. I mean, I just don't expect any shots to fall for the man. But I don't think that that's the worst thing in the world when you consider other stuff that he does possible. He could be a good basketball player in other areas. You just got to live with the fact the shot ain't falling. And he needs to, as a good basketball player does, continue to shoot. Which is why you don't put him on the floor to continue to miss shots to work himself through this problem when every game is a must-win, dog. So this is a lot of stuff that Darvin Ham does. It makes me wonder if his head's on straight. I don't think he's okay, to be honest with you. That's what my head is at this point when it comes to Darvin. Some of this stuff just makes me feel like he's in over his head, and he can't assess whether or not certain things should be done. It's almost like the decisions that he makes, it doesn't necessarily have to make sense in his head in order to do it. That's what it seemed like to me. That's weird. I'm not gonna lie to you. That's a little strange. Like you may say it's stupid, but to me it speaks. It's something else. Like it's something else. That's all I'm saying. I don't want to put nothing on the man's name or nothing like that. But some of the decision making and some of the assessments of which, for what actually transpires, just makes me wonder if he's with us at all. Like, are you okay? Like literally. Like that's where we're at with Darvin Ham. In a must-win basketball game, we putting lineups on the floor that have never played with one another. It's like, damn, bro, you really are checked out. Like. You're not, the pressure has gotten so bad for you that you're not even with us. You're not even really helping yourself. You're not doing things that you should do to assure that you keep your job. That's what it seemed like to me. Like he's already accepted the fact that he's fired. You know what I mean? And so he's doing certain things that speak to what's the use of me even doing good decisions. It's almost like he's self-sabotaging the team because he know he fired. That's what it feel like to me. Those are the type of decisions he's making. And so for me, I'm just like, man, let's get this guy up out of here. I wouldn't be upset if they fired him before the game today. He'd probably give us a better chance of winning the play-in tournament game. True. I really believe that. That's how bad this has gotten. So, yeah, man. That's what's on my mind as well. And now you look at what your options are in regards to, what has to happen in order for you to get in the 8th spot. When you're talking about the Sacramento Kings going up against the Warriors tonight. I believe it's Sac. Oh, no, it's the Pelicans. Pelicans are going up against the Warriors, and you need the Pelicans to win that game, of course. Keep the Warriors with a worse record than you so you can slide up into the 9th spot, and they can slide behind you. So anytime the Warriors are playing from here on out, obviously we need them to lose no matter who they're playing. And then the other game that needs to happen is Sacramento going up against... Who's Sac playing tonight, man? I think Sac's playing... Phoenix. That's who they're playing tonight. Sacramento's playing Phoenix, and you need Phoenix to beat Sacramento so that Sacramento can too have a worse record than you, and you can put yourself in the best possible position through having better records than Sacramento and Golden State to have the 8th seed, because that's the only way you can get it, because they have the tiebreaker on both of these with us. Both of those teams do. So as a result, you're going to need very much for your team to have a better record than the Sacramento Kings and the Golden State Warriors. So we're rooting for Phoenix tonight to beat the Sacramento Kings, and we're rooting for the Pelicans to beat the Golden State Warriors. That's where we're at. And of course, we're rooting for the Lakers to beat the Memphis Grizzlies, as to which, again, you need a better record than these teams. So if you lose a game like this, obviously you're not going to have a better record. You know what I mean? You're tied right now in a 3-way tie with Golden State and Sac. So taking care of your own business is equally as important as other people losing for your benefit. So, you know, you just when you didn't take care of business against Golden State and you didn't take care of business against the Timberwolves, you ultimately took yourself out of the running to be able to control your own destiny. Now you need things to fall into place. Now the good thing is, the way the Pelicans have been playing, you think it's a decent shot that they beat the Golden State Warriors. It's not like that's like a throwaway game for the Warriors. The Pelicans are going to be playing hard. There's a very good chance that the Pelicans walk away with a victory there. I'm not saying they're favored, but it's not like they're going up against Portland. And in a situation with Phoenix, you feel the same way. Like, Phoenix can beat Sacramento, especially since Sac has some guards missing. And I guess that's what makes me feel a little more confident about facing Sac if we do happen to face Sac in a play-in tournament, is that they're missing Malik Monk and Kevin Huerter, and those are players that really hurt us, no pun intended. So with Malik Monk not out there, I think that creates a great deal of cushion against the Kings that have otherwise not been there for us when getting swept by the Kings throughout the course of the season. So I don't think they're the same Kings without those players. You still got to deal with De'Aaron Fox, of whom you cannot defend, but at least Malik Monk's not coming off the bench scoring 25, 30 points. And neither is Kevin Huerter. Both of those guys hurt us bad in games throughout the course of the year. So I feel a little better about playing Sacramento, but I still see some deficiencies there. And of course, Anthony Davis has literally never beaten Sabonis. So why would I bet on him beating him now? Why? That's not the greatest bet. So, yeah, man, would love for the Pelicans to fall into that 7th spot or the 8th spot, and love for us to climb into that 8th spot or 7th spot. And that would be my ideal play-in tournament game for the Lakers. I don't want to play Golden State. They just beat the crap out of us. Even when we have all our players out there, it's still a chance they shoot 63% from behind the arc like they did in the last game. You probably still don't win. So that's what you're looking at. Now, third thing on my mind, of course, is the same thing we were talking about yesterday in regards to our pick. It's up to the Pelicans, though. The Pelicans' choice in either deferring the pick forward and letting it wait until next year before they take the pick, or whether or not they'll take the pick this year, really does determine how enthusiastic I feel about advancing as a Lakers fan. Because at the end of the day, we can benefit a great deal from having a pick that is more advantageous this season than we can from getting ousted in the first round by the Denver Nuggets. And the more I think about it, the less enthusiastic I feel about advancing. Because I look at it like this. Next year, the pick that we're going to give to the New Orleans Pelicans is undoubtedly going to be more talented of a player, because this year's draft is expected to be so weak, one of the weakest of all time. So even if you have a lottery pick this year and next year you end up with the 20th pick, there's still a good chance that 20th pick next year is more talented than that lottery pick that you got this year. There's a good chance, a very good chance, believe it or not. So if we do get a lottery pick, maybe it entices the New Orleans Pelicans to take that pick this year if it's a good enough pick, as to which next year we'll have our own pick and things could go a certain way. And if we suck, maybe it's a great pick. Even if we're solid, it could still be a talented player, a more talented player than this year's pick, in theory. Plus, with LeBron James on the team this year, not knowing what's going to happen next year at this point, you may feel a lot more confident about letting New Orleans take the pick this year and then having it next year for yourself. So if it's a lottery pick, maybe they'd be more enticed to take it. And if they do take it, we can have our pick next year. You know what I mean? That's kind of how I'm looking at it. And if not, if it is a lottery pick and they decide to let us keep it, then we can add it to what we have already, which is something that we need because our team could use another center. We could use some other wing. We can use another shooter. There's a lot of stuff the Lakers could use even in this weekend draft. So it's a win-win for me if we get a lottery pick this year. It's a win-win for a fan that wants to think past this horrible season, who doesn't necessarily believe in the unit we have right now, who knows how important assets are for the building, what it is that we need to build, regardless if Bron is staying or not. I think as soon as you get eliminated this season, you're going to wish you had a lottery pick. As soon as you get eliminated, you're going to be like, man, what the hell was the point of that? We did better just having a pick. Even if we intend to trade it, it's a much more valuable pick if it's a lottery pick. So anything sort of a championship is going to make me wish I had a lottery pick, period. I'm just going to be honest with you. I don't get no love thinking about beating the Denver Nuggets 2 times out of 4 times and losing to them in the first round, or, you know what I mean, getting ousted by OKC or whoever the hell we would see. None of that moves me as much as having a lottery pick this season and adding that to an asset class that is already depleted because of all the mortgaging that we've done in acquiring Anthony Davis and the various different things that we've done. I think that lottery pick is so much more important to our future than making the playoffs, which doesn't garner me any assets at all. I'm just being honest. What it does do is reinforce the idea that you can't beat the same damn teams that you've been losing to. That's what it can do. And look, I'm the same guy that said if you got the right mindset, you could beat anybody, blah, blah, blah. But now this team has proven to me that they're not like that. That's what I want people to understand. I am the guy that wants to see Denver. I, fan, want to see Denver because I want to prove that I can beat them. Problem is, I'm not down there. Those 12 men are. Darvin Ham's down there. And I don't trust them. They don't have that mentality. They don't thrive at the idea of facing someone that you've struggled against and finally overcoming that mountain. That's not who they are. That's who I am. That's what the Laker Nation's been about before this team was assembled. This team is the I need to avoid who keeps kicking my behind because next time I'm going to get my butt kicked again. That's who this team is. So when you understand and identify who your team is, you don't put them in positions to take on challenges that they can't overcome. And Anthony Davis has lost to Sabonis 11 straight times. I'm not asking him to see him a 12th time in a one-and-done situation and gonna come up here with some rah-rah attitude like, we're gonna win this time. No, he didn't win the last 11 damn times. He ain't gonna win this time. No. You know what I'm saying? He ain't like that. If he was like that, then he would have already beaten this dude already. And look at the games the Lakers have lost. With the exception of the Pacer game, we have lost all of the games against teams that people say, and we've proven we can't beat. Golden State, twice. Sacramento, twice. Phoenix, we ain't beat Phoenix since the play-in tournament. Since they've shown us they're healthy, since Bradley Beal has entered the equation, we ain't beat them since. You understand what I'm saying? All the teams that you need to defeat, Sacramento, Golden State, Minnesota, Denver, these are the teams that you've lost to. Everybody else you've beaten. So if the only teams we have left are these teams, why am I welcoming that? When they've proven time and time again that the challenge of defeating what has already defeated them is the challenge they cannot overcome. I'm not asking for that. Me and my mentality, yes, I'm asking for that. Them? Hell no. Not if I got to stand behind them. No, if I got to stand behind them, I'm going to assess who they are. And that's what's changed here. That's what's changed here. That's where my thinking has evolved as it pertains to whether or not the mentality of we ain't beat this team, but we gonna get them this time. And you gotta have the right personnel for that. And that's the difference between this rant and where I was 2 months ago when I was telling y'all I want to see Denver. I'm not afraid of Denver. I am not. But if I have those 12 people, 14, 16 people representing me, hell yeah, we can't beat Denver, man. No way. We need to be fearful. And that's a hard thing for my ego to accept. But it ain't anymore. They've played games against teams that we need to beat, and they've gotten their butts kicked each and every time. And now I have accepted that my ego ain't going to save those people. My gall and my strength and my eternal fortitude and my willfulness is not going to save them. It's going to get them killed. You see what I'm saying? And that's where I've evolved, man. So no, I don't want to see Denver. I do. With them representing me, I can't do nothing but fear Denver. I can't do nothing but fear Sacramento. I can't do nothing but fear Golden State. You see what I'm saying? Because that's all they're capable of allowing me confidence in. That's it. That's all there is to it. So I'm on board with everybody else who's trying to avoid Denver, avoid Sac, avoid Golden State. I'm with all of y'all now. Why? Because this team is proving to me that the rah-rah, we can do it attitude don't have nothing to do with what they're actually going to come out and do. They're going to come out and get rolled over. They're going to come out and be soft. They're going to come out and get beaten. Period. It's already proven time and time again against these same damn teams. So now, after being burnt by them, with the right attitude I have and them coming in with the wrong way of playing, I'm not, no. They ain't built like that. You need to, if you're going to let people stand in front of you and represent you, you better know who they are so you know how best to represent yourself while standing behind them. I fear the Golden State Warriors. I fear Sacramento. I fear Denver. And that's just what it has to be as long as I'm standing behind that army right there. Period. And that's why I'm of the mindset that we need to make some serious changes. That's it. Because my confidence as a person, my confidence as a fan, it ain't gonna represent that basketball team. That basketball team ain't gonna represent that. Rather, they're not going to. What they gonna do is beat everybody else who can't hurt them in the standings. All these little Eastern Conference teams, Milwaukee, all these little teams, we could beat all of them. If we see them every day, yeah, you can have confidence. When it's time to see Golden State, time to see Sacramento, time to see Denver, time to see Minnesota, they're getting rolled over, man. It is what it is. So either you're going to respect that and let that be what you come forward with when you talk about this team, or you can come in with the mindset that your willfulness is going to overcome whatever's in front of you and then be disappointed. And so for me, with that mentality, it's like, okay, well, what's best for my franchise? A lottery pick is best for my franchise. Simply put, a lottery pick is what's best for my franchise. Not going in with the we could beat Denver just to get rolled over by Denver for the 9th, 10th. How many? I never lost count how many times they beat us. Coupled with the next 4. Or to come in against Golden State and expect anything less than them to be pushed around, because that's what they do. They get pushed around. You know what I mean? And I'm not one of those people that's going to find another team that better represents me. I'm a Laker fan regardless. So now it's like, all right, let me shift my thinking. What's best for the team? Lottery pick. Making the playoffs just to get rolled over ain't going to make us better. It ain't going to get us nowhere. So that's where I'm at, man. I hate to be defeatist, but I'm a realist, man. And so that's where I'm at. I'd rather not even get past the play-in tournament if New Orleans is willing to defer the pick to us this season or take it. Either way, it's better that it be a lottery pick. Period. VDL 44. I thank y'all for watching.